Whitehall, 1212.
This is Scotland Yard.
For the first time in history, Scotland Yard opens its secret files to bring you the true, authentic stories of some of its most baffling cases.
These are the true stories, the unvarnished facts, just as they occurred, reenacted for you by an all-British cast. Only the names of the participants have, for obvious reasons, been changed. The stories are presented with the full cooperation of Scotland Yard.
Research on Whitehall 1212 is prepared by Percy Hoskins, chief crime reporter of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Here are the participants in case number 693 MR966. Lance Corporal John Latimer of the Royal Corps of Signals.
Was my lorry right enough?
Signaller Lewis Ruling of the same company.
It only hadn't rained that night.
Mrs. Elsie Avery, who lost her son.
He was a lively lad, but he never done any harm.
Miss Hartley, the colonel's daughter.
I was raised in the army, and I know what I see.
Superintendent Robert Lester of Scotland Yard.
If you will come into the Black Museum here with me, I think Chief Superintendent John Davidson can show you what we started with on this case. He has quite a collection in here of items that have figured in various cases we've worked on here in Scotland Yard. Some of them successfully, and some of them unsolved to date, shall we say. Come with me, please. Ah, here you are, John. This is Chief Superintendent John Davidson, who has a long and distinguished record with us.
Well, how do you do? Say, I finally found those things, Bob.
Ah.
I mislaid them, I'm afraid. Now, don't be afraid to look. They're not at all gruesome. Some folks seem to think we have a kind of chamber of horrors here. But I assure you, these things are quite innocuous for the most part. Now, this is the handkerchief.
Still quite clean, isn't it?
Wasn't always so clean, Bob. See, an ordinary khaki-colored handkerchief, such as millions of soldiers carried during the war.
I carried one.
And this, you don't recognize it? It's a gas mask cover. See the shoulder strap here? Oh, no, soldiers didn't carry this kind. This is red leather, or imitation leather, if you will. It was the type children carried with them. A child did carry this one. You can still see his name inside it here, written in his own kid's handwriting. Philip Ainsley Avery.
Philip Avery is dead.
But this little red leather bag helped Superintendent Lester start a man on the early morning stroll that ends on the gallows trap.
I was fortunate enough to be called by the Bucks Constabulary at once on this case. Too many times Scotland Yard is called in only after the local police have exhausted their every resource. But those chaps in Buckinghamshire wanted help at once and badly in this little village in early November 1941. Station Superintendent, no, I'll not tell you his name, briefed me. He tossed the gas mask case, the one you just saw, on the desk.
This is all we've found so far.
Rather a bright-colored gas mask case for a boy to carry. How old is he?
I don't know whether we should say is or was superintendent.
Been looking for him how long now?
3.5 days now.
And this is all you found?
I'm scared if he's lost and he'd throw away his respirator case.
Where'd you find it?
About a mile from here, down the road in the ditch.
Well-traveled road?
Not very.
Get anything from his parents?
Father's dead, and mother's, well, as you'd expect. He was the only child.
What did she think?
Well, first she thought he'd run away. He was quite dotty over the army, and she thought he'd be hanging round some camp or other in the vicinity.
He wasn't.
And they've all moved out, last one a week ago. Oh, except for that convoy that went through here the day after the kid disappeared.
Could they have taken him along, a mascot, perhaps?
Checked him first bloody thing.
Not with him?
No. Their OC telephoned me from somewhere over the East Coast. Nice chap, and worried. Said he'd turned out the whole party and no one had heard of the kid.
Good man. And the countryside is turned out, you said?
Not an able-bodied man in the village that isn't out in the country searching.
They'll find him, perhaps.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yes.
Well, where do you want to start?
Who saw the boy last?
His mother. He was just setting off for school.
What about her?
Well, frankly,
Oh,
I've seen mothers who treated their kids better.
I'd better see her, hadn't I?
Killing a kid's awfully nasty, Superintendent.
Yeah.
She's my sister-in-law,
Oh,
my brother's wife.
I thought the kid's name was Avery.
She married Avery after my brother was killed at Calais.
Where is Avery?
Killed at Tobruk.
She must be pretty bitter.
Bitter.
I'll have a talk with her.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I was rather fond of my young nephew. Probably why I telephoned you so quickly.
Yeah. Thought you said every man in the village was out looking for the boy.
They are.
Who are all those chaps, then, coming down the road?
Where? They're carrying something.
Steady, steady, old boy.
It's my sister-in-law. That's it. They've found him.
In my time, I've seen a good many murdered persons. I shall probably see a good many more before I turn in my warrant card. But this one, an 11-year-old schoolboy. I can still see that great blue bruise on his forehead and his throat. I've got kids myself. His mother, she was quite controlled when I talked with her.
You'd better take me in, Superintendent. I did it.
How did you do it, Mrs. Avery?
It was such a lively boy, but he never meant any harm.
Everyone says he was a fine boy, Mrs. Avery.
I called him a little hellion. He was always talking about the army and how he was going to join up the minute he came of age. I hate the army.
Yes.
It's taken Philip's father from me, and Avery. I couldn't bear the thought of losing him to it. I raised my hand to my son. He said it was his duty. I thrashed him so many times, but he was stubborn. Duty, I said. What about your duty to your mother? He was all ready for school, with his little gas mask case, standing in the door. Somebody, he said, somebody's got to take Daddy's place. Just like a kid talks. Daddy's place. And Mr. Avery's. And I slapped his face. I could cut off my hand. And he gave me such a look and went away, and I never saw him again until I sent him to his death. I murdered him. The army got him, too.
I went away from that stricken woman. What else could I do? She was obviously convinced that she was responsible for the boy's death. But if her story was true, then that was a matter for her own conscience. If it was not, well, if she had killed the boy, there was time enough. The divisional superintendent drove me to the place where the body had been found in his own car. It was a side road off the main highway. Little traveled, and the local constable pointed out the place.
I was right there, sir. I marked it with a stick. I was with a searching party. We came across the road here, and Sammy Roberts, he seen that red gas mask bag lying on the edge of the ditch right over there. We picked it up, and we was looking around like, and I spotted the body lying right down there. Lying on his back he was. Like he was asleep with his little arms folded on his chest. I thought he was asleep till I saw the blood. Well, there weren't much of it for the rain. We run over here, and then we saw the mark on his forehead. Dead, all right. And quite peaceful, as I said. That's all, sir.
Been no other cars along here since you found him, then?
Only one or two, sir.
Where did all that oil come from, then?
Where, sir?
Down there.
Oh, I don't know, sir.
Looks like crankcase oil.
The car's been standing there.
Some time ago, though. The rain's washed it out, partly.
Like it washed away all the fingerprints on the gas mask bag, sir.
Certainly looks as if a car or a lorry has been standing here.
Could those be its tire marks?
Constable, see that no one that comes along here gets near those tire marks.
You want to make a plaster cast of them, sir?
Yes.
Well, Nobby Clark back at the station knows how to make them, sir. He was at the police college at Hendon.
I'll send him out when we go back. Ever covered everything else, McKinnon?
I think so, sir. Rain's washed away everything else, but I didn't notice these marks. Who's that?
Stop him, Constable, before he runs on those tire tracks.
Stop! 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 Please, stop!
Who is it, do you know?
I think it's Miss Hartley. She's got the only MG in this part.
Who is she?
The daughter of our local retired colonel, Chief Air Raid Warden.
To learn about poor Philip, Superintendent. He was such a charming boy. What in the world are you doing out here?
This is the place where he was found, Miss Hartley.
Oh, how dreadful. You have my deepest sympathy, sir. Who's this man?
I'm Superintendent Lester of Scotland Yard, madam.
Now, don't call me madam. My name's Hartley. Inga Hartley. Lived here for years. My father's Colonel Hartley. Late the Green Howards. Been in the army practically all my life. What's Scotland Yard doing up here? Can't you handle this, Superintendent?
Well,
No, your nephew, of course, yes. Sorry. Who's had a lorry up here with a leaking crankcase?
We don't
Tell
quite...
a leaking crankcase as far as I can see it. Who was it? The murderer? Oh, sorry.
We've only just come in on this.
I saw a lorry over there at the road junction 3 mornings ago. Army lorry, driven by a lance corporal, driving onto the main road from this road.
Oh, was that the day the boy was reported missing, Superintendent? Was, huh? You're sure it was an army lorry, miss?
Hartley. Of course I know it was an army lorry, driven by a young lance corporal wearing steel-rimmed glasses, a 1,500-weight Fordson. I was raised in the army, sir, and I know what I see.
Was there any markings on it, Miss Hartley?
Of course. It was a Royal Chorus Signals lorry.
How did you know?
Why, it had the blue and white patch painted on the front like the signaller's armband. A big 56 was lettered on the side in white, and there was a red and green clover leaf painted on the left front door.
The trucks of that signal convoy that passed through here.
Eh?
I remember the markings on them.
Cod pips, that's right.
What's this?
Yes, what are you talking about?
They were marked with playing card pips. Some of them with the ace of spades, some with diamonds and hearts.
And clubs.
There's your clover leaf, Miss Hartley.
God, stone the bloody crows. Excuse me, that's the murderer.
As Miss Hartley roared off in her MG, we headed for the village. It was a thin enough clue, but it was the only one, except for the mother's fantastic confession, but we started to investigate it at once. A telegram to the War Office.
Request most urgently. Present location of Royal Corps Signal Unit. Passed through this village 3 days ago, headed for East Coast talk. Information desired in connection with serious crime. Lester, Scotland Yard.
He was trying to trace him any other way, security regulations and all that.
We'll have a reply in no time, I'm sure.
But if that signals corps corporal did kill him, why?
Probably struck him with the lorry and got frightened.
But what was Phyllis doing over there? The school's in the opposite direction.
Maybe he was running away.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like to have a look at the things we took from the boys' pockets?
Would you mind looking, Lester? If there's anything you think I should see.
I'll have a look, Constable.
Here's a spring, sir. An old cap badge. That was his father, sir. He always carried it with him. Fragments and coppers. Half a packet of peppermints. Hair breaks your heart, doesn't it, sir? Poor kid.
Go on, Constable.
Parking handkerchief.
Hold on a minute. Was that his?
Can't say, sir.
Hold it out. I think we'll take a closer look at it. I believe that's oil on it there.
His, sir. Smells like old crankcase oil to me, sir.
Hold it out. I'll tell you what to do with it. Might be quite important.
Yes, sir.
How's his mother?
Took her to a nursing home down the road, sir. She's, I'm afraid she's, not going to get over it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, is that all?
Only this, sir.
What?
This we found inside the gas mask case, sir.
What is it?
Looks like the corner of a pound note, sir. all crumpled up. A bloody strange place to find a bit of money. How do you suppose he got it?
Why, I think, Constable, the important thing to discover is who has the rest of it.
The murderer.
Oh, hello, Silver.
We've heard from the War Office about the signal company.
Where are they?
They're at a port of embarkation. They're due to leave the day after tomorrow for North Africa.
If we were to follow up what seemed to be a promising clue, in fact, our only clue, there was, of course, no time to lose. But there were things that we must accomplish before we left for the port of embarkation. And these are the things we accomplished with the aid of Scotland Yard technicians who were rushed to us from London.
We have the plaster casts of the tire marks on the road, sir. The samples of oil we took out of the mud are here, too.
They match the oil stains on the khaki handkerchief.
The handkerchief has been washed and examined. What appears to be a laundry mark, K201537, was discovered on the edge of it. It had been partially obscured by the oil stains.
The wound on the boy's throat was inflicted after death, which was caused by the blow on the head, sir.
One thing we do not know yet, Superintendent, is where that torn piece of the £1 note came from.
I brought Philip's mother here to tell you about that.
It's from Philip's money box.
What?
I knew at once when my brother-in-law told me.
I took her home to see.
Philip had come back and taken it. I looked in the drawer in his cupboard where he kept it. I found it broken open and empty. I knew what had been in it. 31 shillings in coin.
I always gave him a shilling for shining in my boots.
And the £1 note I gave him for his birthday the day before Michaelmas. He'd taken it all to run away on. And they murdered him for 31 shillings and a £1 note. The army paid me much more for his father.
I don't think I shall ever forget that. We arrived at the barracks of the signal company at the port of embarkation shortly after Reveille. Major Hugh Scott, the young officer commanding, who had been an engineer at Wandsworth, was waiting for us in what he called his orderly room. The men were still at breakfast, but the company sergeant major ushered us in.
The gentleman from the police, sir.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Sergeant Major. Come in, gentlemen.
Thank you, Major.
Sit down, gentlemen. I'm afraid I don't know what this is all about, you know. I had an urgent message.
Yes, I'm afraid we shall have to cause you some inconvenience. This is a very serious matter.
Mm-hmm, I gathered that.
It involves murder, sir.
It's serious. What do you want me to do?
Answer some questions first, please, Major.
As well as I can. Right away.
Are all your men present?
The Sergeant Major will know that. Sergeant Major.
Yes, sir.
All our people on hand, Sergeant Major.
All present at Reveille, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Well, they're all here, murderers included, if any.
You were encamped at the superintendent's village a few nights ago.
Right. He called on us.
That's correct.
You have one vehicle that has a bad leak in the crankcase.
How'd you know that?
Well, I'm asking you, sir.
We surely have. Our number 56 is
56 of 1500 weight Fordsham.
Well, I don't know how you know, but we're having more trouble with this monster than
And
any
the markings on this lorry?
Well, the usual blue and white signals tab. And then there's the section marking on the front door.
What's it like, please?
An ace of clubs in red and green.
Oh. May we see the driver, please?
Of course. Sergeant Major again.
Yes, sir.
Send in Lance Corporal Latimer. Get him out of our palatial breakfast room, please.
Yes, sir.
He the murderer?
We'll see, I hope.
A mild-mannered bloke can't see him murdering anyone. Oh, you must be wrong.
You have a special laundry mark for your company, Major?
Laundry mark? Well, hardly in this man's army.
We found one on this khaki handkerchief.
Might be anyone's, old chap. I have one myself.
It was in the murdered boy's pocket.
Boy? Oh, good Lord, gentlemen, do you... Yes?
Latimer, sir.
Come in, Latimer.
Lance Corporal Latimer, sir.
Stand easy, Latimer. What makes it jingle so, Corporal?
Jingle, sir?
Ring like Bow bells.
Oh, that's shillings, sir. I've got a pocket full of shillings. Excuse me, sir.
Never mind, Corporal. Where did you get those shillings?
Why, sir, I...
Answer anything these gentlemen ask you, Latimer. They're policemen.
Oh. I got them from my mate, sir.
Who's he?
Signaller Ruling, sir.
Sergeant Major,
Yes, sir.
send for ruling.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Major Scott.
Yeah, that's quite all right.
Where did he get them?
I don't know, sir.
Latimer, is this your handkerchief?
Looks like mine, sir. May I see it, please? Yes, sir. Here's the laundry mark they put on it when we were stationed at Leeds, sir. K201537. Yes, sir, that's mine.
Where did you lose it?
Lose it, sir? I didn't lose it. My pal had it. I lent it to him.
Ruling?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir, I'm sure.
Do you always wear those steel-rimmed glasses, Latimer?
Yes, sir. Always.
Wearing them when you met the lady in the MG the other morning?
What morning, sir?
When you turned off the side road onto the main road? When you were at camp before the last one?
I never saw a lady up there, sir. I wasn't even out of the camp.
The morning you stopped your lorry on the by road and stayed there a few minutes?
I never left the camp, sir.
Your lorry was out, I think.
I wouldn't know, sir. I was working on the generator truck all day, sir.
Alone, no doubt.
Alone? Yes, sir.
Look at this. Do you know what it is?
Looks like slabs of plaster, sir.
They are plaster casts of tire marks left by your lorry at a certain place, Latimer.
I don't think there could be, sir. The lorry wasn't in a certain place.
What certain place?
Where you said, sir.
You can easily prove it by comparing these casts with your tires.
Well, sir, if it was where you said it was, it wasn't me driving it.
Where did I say it was?
Well, I don't know, sir.
Latimer.
One moment, please, Major. Latimer, do you recognize this? Do you know what it is?
No, sir. A red satchel.
It was the boys' gas mask case.
I never saw it before in all my life, sir. I'll take my bloody oath to that. What boys, sir?
Blast. Come in. What is it, Sergeant Major?
Sorry, sir.
What?
Ruling's missing, sir. I think he's gone over the hill.
Major Scott got the military police on the track of the missing signaler Ruling at once. We wanted to see him badly enough, but Major Scott had reasons of his own. Desertion from a post in wartime is also a very serious matter. While a red-cap MP lieutenant, a former Berkshire constabulary sergeant, assured the major that they'd very soon find the adjectived rascal, the superintendent and I went out to compare our plaster cast with the tires on lorry number 56. They matched perfectly. We returned to the orderly room to find the policeman gone and Major Scott sitting staring at the contents of Ruling's kit.
Look here at these clothes, gentlemen.
They're soaking wet.
Perhaps they were the ones he wore when it was raining then.
They could very well be, if he did it.
I didn't do it.
Yes, you said that, Latimer.
Look, here's something on the cuff of this jacket.
Where?
Look here. What's this? Looks like blood.
He said he cut his hand.
Did he?
Didn't show me the cut, sir.
Then you don't know.
No, sir.
What kind of chap is this man Ruling, anyway?
Well, he's a great husky young fella.
And he wears steel-rimmed glasses, just like I do.
He does.
Sir, I was just thinking.
What?
Well, when I came back to my bivvy after working on the generator lorry all day, I had a look at 56.
And?
Well, she was awfully muddy. Much muddier than the other lorries that had been standing in the park all day.
Could someone have taken her out without your knowing it?
Could they, Latimer?
Would be possible, sir.
Ruling?
Well, sir, he's supposed to be my pal.
But what?
He was always drifting off, I remember. Alone.
What for?
Well, he always liked to visit people in the business, he said.
What business?
The business he was in before he was called up.
What's he do?
He was a butcher.
The MPs brought Signaler Ruling back at 3 the next morning. They had found him, they said, standing in front of you guess what kind of shop. He was quite self-possessed as he stood in Major Scott's office.
Stand easy, Ruling. These gentlemen want to talk to you, Ruling.
Aye, sir.
I think they want to ask you some questions.
First, we want to search this man, Major.
Go ahead.
I'll look at your wallet first, Ruling.
Aye, sir. Not much in it, sir.
We'll see.
Yes, sir.
I opened the wallet. There was nothing in it at all. Nothing except a torn £1 note. Give me the torn piece of Philip's pound note, I said to the superintendent. That was all. It fitted perfectly.
Let me do it. Lewis Ruling, I arrest you for the willful murder of Philip Ainsley Avery.
Aye, sir.
And I warn you that anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence.
I'm not afraid to tell you about it, sir. I killed poor little beggar. He said he was running away to join army. I laughed at him, and he told me he had plenty of money. And I asked him where he kept it. He said in his respirator case, and I reached for it, and he yelled. Just like one of them little lambs when you've got it by its neck. And I got mad. And he jumped out of the lorry, and I after him, and he turned to yell at me, and I hit him with a spanner, just like a cute little lamb. And then he fell down, and I did what you always do to a lamb when you kill it.
Lewis Ruling was tried and found guilty of the murder of the poor little lamb. But his counsel appealed on the grounds of insanity, and he was adjudged mentally irresponsible. He was committed to an institution for the criminal insane and died there more than a year ago.
You have heard another authentic story from the files of Scotland Yard on Whitehall 1212. Research is prepared by Percy Hoskins of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Three chimes mean good times on NBC.
Whitehall 1212.
This is Scotland Yard.
For the first time in history, Scotland Yard opens its secret files to bring you the authentic stories of some of its most baffling cases.
These are the stories, the unvarnished facts, just as they occurred, reenacted for you by an all-British cast. Only the names of the participants have for obvious reasons been changed. The stories are presented with the full cooperation of Scotland Yard.
Research on Whitehall 1212 is prepared by Percy Hoskins, chief crime reporter of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Here are the participants in case number 921MR421. Peter Williams, who boxed at 135 pounds.
It's all right. It looked like your duty.
Mrs. Jessie Fallowfield, his mother-in-law.
It'll come out all right one of these days, I'm sure.
Sir Brendan O'Neill, Home Office pathologist at Scotland Yard.
We're doing the best we can do.
Iris Williams, who resembled her mother.
No, not to the police station. No!
Chief Inspector Oscar Ford of Scotland Yard.
On the morning of 19th November 1943, 2 engineers employed by a Bedfordshire town discovered something floating, half submerged, in the waters of the River Lee. Now, if you'll come with me down the corridor here to the Black Museum, I'll show you what they found. Come along, please. This is Scotland Yard's Black Museum, of which you may have heard. Chief Superintendent John Davidson doesn't seem to be here. Oh, John.
Who is it?
It's Austin Ford, John.
Oh, be with you at once.
Chief Superintendent Davidson is the custodian of the Black Museum. Has a long and distinguished record with the Yard.
Oh, good afternoon.
Came in connection with the Williams case, John.
Oh, yes. 921 MR 421. Up here on the shelf. Say, I hope you're not too disappointed in not finding skeletons and gory human bodies lying about in here. But they're in short stock with us. Yeah, this is it, Oscar. Actually, this isn't the Grand Guignol, you know. The articles filed away in here, all, of course, at some connection with one crime or another, but they're not particularly gory now. We don't keep them here to inspire writers of penny dreadfuls on the wireless at all. No, they're here for the use as reference items in our business of catching criminals. Examples, you see, of how certain crimes were committed. And I think you'd be amazed how much they aid our people in solving of other similar ones. Now, these things in this box are potato sacks, ordinary rough burlap sacks. But potatoes come in.
Other things come in them, too, John.
Yes, a dead body came in this one.
Clammy rain mixed with snow had been falling all day when I arrived at the riverbank, 40 miles north of London. And thanks to the inclement weather, no crowd had gathered, and the huge local constable, the unfortunate victim, and I had the dismal landscape all to ourselves. I showed my card to the constable.
Thank you, sir.
This it?
I wouldn't look if you don't need to, sir.
Drowned, eh?
Not only drowned, sir.
Oh.
Doctor's just left, sir. They'll be coming to take her to the mortuary.
Her?
He thinks it was a woman.
It was, of course, patent that the woman had died a violent death, to use the old cliché, at the hands of a person or persons unknown. Our job was not only to find that person or persons unknown, but first to establish the identity of the unfortunate young woman who had worn potato sacks as her ultimate garment. A homicide is a very personal thing. The relations between victim and killer that exist before the deed are most important in discovering the latter. But lacking identification of the victim, it's most difficult to establish what relations ever existed between the late unlamented and any other person in the world. So one might think that the secret of successful murder is to render your victim unidentifiable. But don't try it. It can't be done. We'll catch you. Sir Brendan O'Neill, the Home Office pathologist, told me to what extent the killer had attempted to prevent identification of the victim, and thus of himself.
There are no fingerprints, of course. I suggest that you have the bottom of the River Lee dragged at once. See if you can find the missing hands.
Already at that, Sir Brendan. No luck so far, though.
Well, whoever she was, she wore false teeth, so there's no good trying that one.
Teeth are missing, of course.
Neither upper nor lower plate.
Oh, they might be at the bottom of the river, too. In a foot of mud somewhere.
Well, you'll never find them. I've never seen such a completely anonymous body in all my time, Oscar.
No scars or moles, birthmarks, that sort of thing?
Not a thing. I can tell you her height, though. 5 feet 3 inches. And her weight. Assuming that the missing arms weighed about 20 pounds, that'd make her 121 pounds. Say 120. Quite average brown hair, bobbed. Can't tell you what color her eyes were.
No.
We're trying to type her blood now. Afraid that's all.
Know her age, sir?
Oh, I'd say about 27. Oh, yes. And she'd had children.
Well, it isn't much to go on, is it?
Best we can do, Chief Inspector.
Oh, I know that, sir. Those wounds on her head.
Hit with something that has a sharp corner. Smashed the skull in 3 places. dead when she was thrown into the water.
Well, we'll check every missing woman case up Bedfordshire way first. See if we can find out which 120-pound, 5'3" woman's not accounted for.
Had children, dull, brown, bobbed hair. That's all of it.
I should have listened to my father.
Huh?
He wanted me to be a parson, sir.
Oh. Well, good luck.
I'll bloody well need it, I muttered to myself as I closed the door. I didn't have any, though, for a long time. This is what we accomplished in the next 6 weeks.
534 lorry drivers known to have passed the riverbank where the body was found during the 24 hours previous to the finding of the body were investigated and screened.
Result? Nothing.
The movements of every soldier on day leave from the nearby army camps during that period were traced.
Result? Nothing.
Every war factory worker in the vicinity, in both day and night shifts, was questioned.
Result? Absolutely nothing.
604 women throughout Britain who had been reported missing were checked on by Scotland Yard and provincial police.
Result? All 604 women were found alive.
The banks and bottom of the River Lee were searched for 2 miles in both directions from the place where the body was found.
Results? Quantities of mud and useless debris.
A photograph of the skull was given to an expert artist who carefully retouched it into what we all hoped was a semblance of the dead woman's features.
We caused copies of this photograph to be handed from house to house in this market city of 70,000. We had the photograph exhibited on the screens at all the local cinemas. Thousands of persons saw this retouched picture in the weeks before Christmas 1943, including the murderer himself, we found out later. But the results were still nothing at all. On the day after Christmas, the coroner's order for the burial of the remains was signed. Case number 921MR421 was about to be stamped unsolved. As I was leaving the yard on the evening of that 26th, I ran into Chief Superintendent John Davidson, the Black Museum man. Have a good Christmas, sir? I asked.
Not bad at all, Oscar. Very pleasant. You?
I worked.
What a pity. Understand they're burying that girl tomorrow.
I expect that's the end of it.
Burying her up there in Bedfordshire, are they?
Aye.
Going to the funeral?
Well, sir, you'd hardly call it a funeral exactly.
You're going?
Hardly, sir.
Oh, have a cigar? Canadian friend of mine sent me a box for Christmas. Real Corona Perfectos.
Thank you, sir.
Well, one more for me, then. I should think it would be an act of Christian charity if you did attend the girl's funeral.
Well, sir, I
remember once, about 1909 or 10, if I remember correctly. I think it was old smudgy Steele, Inspector Steele, dead now. He nabbed a man at a funeral.
That's so, sir.
The murderer. Chap came to gloat, I expect, at his victim's last rites. Steele wondered who this stranger was and got into conversation with him. Orson Welles or someone ought to get hold of that one. Make a corking good penny dreadful, wouldn't it? The stranger at the funeral or something. But it really happened. Might happen again, too, you know. Well, good night.
Yes. Good night, sir. And so I rode 40 miles to a market town on a dismal day after Boxing Day, to a grimy little cemetery not far from one of the hat factories for which the town is celebrated. The 2 second assistant sextons were shoveling the frozen clods into the raw new grave as I walked away from there, with the huge constable and the young army chaplain who had been summoned away from a nearby officers' mess to officiate. The cemetery was deserted, except for us. The murderer hadn't been in attendance after all. The big constable and I walked on past the hat factory whilst the young chaplain left to go back to his unfinished lunch. It was cold, streets almost deserted. The policeman talked about the tug of war at the last summer's police game.
I'll give you my word, sir. I never saw such a team as them blokes from the city police. Not a man less than 15 stone amongst them, and cute bloke, that anchor man. Well, that chap weighed not a pound less than 17 stone, and strong. Oh, a ruddy bull. Name of Brian O'Brien from Galway originally. I thought I should have died laughing, sir. The way that belt nearly cut him in two.
Yeah.
He sunk them great heels in and he huffed and he
Hey,
puffed.
what's the matter with you, young lady?
Nothing the matter with her voice.
Oh, now, what's the matter, dear?
I want my mommy.
Oh, she's lost. Best take her to the nearest police station, eh?
Come along, young lady.
No, please, ma, no.
Oh, she thinks you're going to throw her in jail.
No.
I'm not going to pinch your sister. You're lost, you see.
Mommy lost. Mommy lost.
Probably swilling tea somewhere or else flaunted in a cinema.
No, Mommy in London. Mommy gone. I want my mommy.
Oh, that's jolly. Now what do we do, Constable?
Mommy said she's coming home for Christmas, and Mommy not go.
Poor little tyke.
I want Mommy.
Here, little girl. Little girl. What's your name? Well, look up at me. Here, let me see your face.
What's the matter, sir?
I have a hunch.
Yes, sir.
Now, don't let that kid get away.
Here. What's she done, sir?
I'll show you in a second. Look, keep her quiet, will you, before we run in.
Stow it, you little darling. Oh! No, mustn't fight. Oh! Hurry up, sir, please.
Oh, give her a sixpence or something. I'll find it in a minute. Ah, here it is. Look at it. Look at it. Now, don't let her see it.
Lord, love a ruddy duck.
You recognize the paper there?
Of course, sir. We circulated thousands of these all over town.
Well, tell me what it is.
Darling. Yes, sir, it's the picture of the missing woman that you people at Scotland Yard had made up.
What else do you see?
Sir?
I said, what else do you see?
Oh! This little maniac whose mother is missing is the spitting image of the picture.
All right. Come on, darling. We'll take you home.
My mommy come home.
Now, dear, your mummy can't come out now.
We accompanied the little girl whose name we learned was Iris Williams, age 3, to her home, a short distance away. It was a modest 3-room flat occupied by a Mrs. Jessie Fallowfield, the child's grandmother, and her son-in-law, Iris's father, a member of the local National Fire Service unit. Little Iris retreated to the doorstep with an enormous slice of bread and wild bramble jelly, while Mrs. Fallowfield talked with us.
Yes, I've been here only 2 weeks, you see. I didn't want to talk before little Iris. Her mother's away. My daughter.
So we understand from Iris, Mrs. Fallowfield.
Quite. I don't like to have to say it, but Jessie, my daughter, she has the same name as mine, and Peter, my son-in-law, didn't get on together.
Where is your son?
At the fire station.
Uh-huh.
Well, to speak quite plainly, my Jessie wrote to me at Sevenoaks in Kent, you know, that she couldn't stand it here with Peter any longer, and she was going away.
Well, how long ago was that?
Oh, the 19th of November.
Uh-huh. You haven't heard from her since?
Oh, yes, indeed, almost every week.
You've heard from her since she left?
Oh, yes, but we're on the best of terms as long as we're not together, you see. I'm afraid she's a bit flighty. Well, one can't live one's daughter's life, can one?
No, one can't. And you say you heard from her recently?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, the reasons I came from Sevenoaks to live here is because she wrote asking me to.
She did?
Yes, she insisted she couldn't live with Peter. But he needs to be taken care of, says she, and won't you go and make a home for him, Mother? So that's why I'm here. Peter just moved in with me a week ago. It's very cozy. Though I do wish she'd come home again, though it would probably be the same thing all over again. Bicker, bicker, bicker. Oh, there's no peace in this world anywhere, is there?
Well, I'm sure we're very sorry to have bothered you, Mrs. Fallowfield, but we were quite captivated by little Iris.
I do hope she didn't hurt you.
Oh, a bit of Mercuricum will fix that up, ma'am.
Iris was quite upset that her mother hadn't come home for Christmas.
Oh, my, yes. Though Jessie wrote both Peter and me saying she couldn't make it. She was so busy there in Hampstead, the Christmas rush and all.
Hairdresser, you said?
Yes, but I'm afraid I don't know the name of the place.
Well, it doesn't really matter since you're sure it was your daughter's handwriting in that letter.
Well, I should think I'd be able to recognize that handwriting of hers. The hours I've spent trying to teach her to write tidily.
Well, I hope you'll pardon our intrusion, Mrs. Fallowfield. We were so taken with dear little Iris.
Yes.
And rather alarmed about her mother.
Oh?
And I'm afraid that we, police officers...
Suspicious.
I'm sorry.
Well, there's nothing at all to worry about my daughter, gentlemen. I'm quite sure that she's safe.
Oh, I'm quite sure of that, madam. But her husband, your son...
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if that's Peter now. Peter?
Hello, Ma. There's another letter from Jessie here. Oh, I'm sorry.
These gentlemen are from the police, Peter.
The police? About Jessie?
I'm happy to see you, Mr. Williams. Oh, I'm Chief Inspector Ford of Scotland Yard.
What's this about Jessie?
Oh, don't be alarmed, Peter. Iris was blubbering in the street about her mummy being lost, and these gentlemen were afraid murder's been done or something equally horrid and brought her home.
Oh, well, thank you, gentlemen. Mother, I must have tea early. I'm fighting tonight.
My son is a boxer.
You're a lightweight, I take it, Mr. Williams?
135 pounds, yes.
Didn't see your name on the card. At the drill hall, eh?
Yes. Slasher Rifkin broke his wrist this afternoon. I'm a substitute.
Oh, I shall probably see you then. Too bad about Slasher. Good man, that. Saw him fight that Australian 4 weeks ago.
Oh, I've beaten him twice. He can't stand up against a left-handed boxer.
You're left-handed?
Yes.
Another letter from Jessie, Peter.
Yes. The postman was just passing, and he...
That another example of your daughter's handwriting, Mrs. Fallowfield?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, of course.
Did you ever see such writing? The girl will never learn.
Nobody could ever imitate that writing. Well, gentlemen, I'm sorry that you've had to get mixed up in all this. My wife's a very charming girl, but...
Oh, we quite understand. I hope you'll forgive our intrusion.
Oh, it's all right. Looked like your duty, I suppose. Another one of those unfortunate affairs. I'm sorry about it, but, well, you're men of the world. You understand.
Oh, yes,
absolutely.
Quite.
It'll all come out right one of these days, I'm sure, though.
It's all right, Mother Fallowfield. Gentlemen, if you'll excuse me, I've got to have my tea now.
Oh, of course. So sorry to have disturbed you, sir. And Mrs. Fallowfield?
Oh, it's quite all right. Good night.
Good night.
Now, Peter, would you fancy a nice kipper, perhaps?
Well, what did you think?
Sir, I've done a bit of boxing in my time, too.
What?
One thing I learned many years ago.
Yes?
Never trust a left-handed boxer.
I went back to London completely baffled at this turn of events that had suddenly reopened a case that should have been closed in that wintry little graveyard. Here was almost indubitable proof that the woman we had buried was still alive and in constant communication with her husband and her mother. The letter from her had arrived on the very day I had seen her body committed to the frozen ground. It was impossible, obviously. Well, at my desk at Scotland Yard the next morning, I arranged to have every known hairdressing shop in Hampstead and the whole north of London investigated to find if any employed a girl named Jessie Williams or Jessie Fallowfield. I'd caught the return address on the envelope in the Fallowfield flat, and it said, Jessie Williams, Hampstead. Hampstead. Spelled that way without the P. Hamstead. I remembered. Well, I thought she spells as badly as she writes. I dismissed it and picked up the telephone to make a routine inquiry.
Criminal Records Office, Sergeant Healy.
Healy, I'd like you to look up a chap for me, please.
Who's this speaking, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Chief Inspector Ford.
Yes, sir.
Chap named Peter Williams, a boxer by profession, comes from Bedfordshire. See if we've ever had any dealings with him before, will you?
Take some time, sir.
Oh, good enough. Ring me when you find out, will you?
Williams, Peter.
That's all I know about him.
We'll see what we can find, sir.
All right. Thank you. I went upstairs to see Sir Brendan O'Neill, the Home Office pathologist.
Hello, Oscar. Get her buried, all right?
Yes, sir.
Sit down.
But I want to dig her up again.
What for, old boy?
Can it be done?
Well, of course. if there's sufficient reason.
I need to know one or two things.
Well, it's unusual, but...
The case isn't closed yet. I saw to that.
Well, if her relatives don't raise the row...
We haven't been able to find any relatives, sir.
Oh, that's right, isn't it? Well, in that case, dig her up.
Right, sir. Then we can have her sent down here, and I'll need your personal assistance, Sir Brendan.
For what?
I want to find out some things.
Oh, I can't tell you her name, Oscar.
Perhaps I can.
Well, what do you want me to do, then?
Help me to find a very clever murderer, sir. These things happened during the next 2 days. First, a report from the officer in charge of checking the hairdressing establishments.
We have checked every hairdressing shop in the entire north portion of London, with special reference to Hampstead, sir. 131 shops. Not one has any record of a woman named Jessie Williams or Jessie Fallowfield. There was only one Jessie among them all, a Mrs. Jessie Forrester, aged 61. She was obviously not the person we was after.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
A report from the Criminal Records Office of Scotland Yard.
Sergeant Healy speaking, sir. We checked thoroughly on your boxer, Peter Williams.
Find anything on him?
Yes, sir. He's been up twice. Convicted. Penal servitude in both instances.
Good.
That all, sir?
Yes. Oh, no. What was he charged with?
Forgery, sir.
A final visit to Sir Brendan O'Neill's laboratory.
Here's the report, Oscar. She was struck twice on the head with a flat object, like a wide metal bar or a heavy, narrow wooden plank. The instrument was of an undetermined length, but the marks on the skull indicate that it was 3 7/8 inches wide, at the point where it was struck into the skull.
Very good indeed, Sir Brendan. How about the other experiment?
Well, they're still working on that.
Looks rather silly, doesn't it?
I think you were right.
Will you be able, do you think, to swear to it if you find I'm right, sir?
Well, if results continue this way, we shall.
You sent for me, Sir Brendan?
Oh, yes. You're Hayes, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Right or left-handed, Hayes?
Left-handed, sir.
Good. Over on that side, they'll call you when they're ready, Hayes.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to take a little trip up to Bedfordshire with me, Sir Brendan? My constable friend from the tug-of-war team had briefed me on how to find the little house where the boxer Williams had lived with his wife Jessie before she went away, as he said, to Hampstead, before he had gone to live with her mother. It was a tiny cottage not far from his present flat. I noted with interest that one of the windows looked out onto the graveyard where we had buried that poor woman a few days before. We walked around the place, staring at the neat rooms, empty as they'd stood since Williams had moved out. There was nothing at all at first to excite our interest. Sir Brendan O'Neill walked into the tiny stone-floored scullery. I watched with the other Scotland Yard man who'd come with us. Sir Brendan spoke from the other room.
This might be it, Oscar. This strip of wood on this old bench here. Measure it. 3
7/8 inches, all right.
Well, right width, Oscar.
Good.
It's been nailed on fairly recently, sir. These are new nails.
See if you can get it off. Carefully.
Oh, I can do it.
Hand me the parcel, Oscar.
What's that, sir? It's a skull.
Never mind it.
The piece of wood. You've been here before, madam. Fits the scars perfectly, Oscar. I think we've got... That him?
Right inside, Mr. William, if you please.
That's him. Back here in the scullery, Constable.
Right, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams.
Hello, Inspector.
Ford, Scotland Yard, sir.
I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
Why, we'll try to show you, Mr. Williams.
I really haven't much time.
That's enough, Constable.
What?
A few things, Mr. Williams. Now, what's the name of that place that your wife writes to you from?
Why, Hampstead.
How do you spell that?
Why, Hamstead.
How interesting. That's the way it's spelled on those letters from your wife, isn't it?
Isn't that right? That's the way I always spelled it.
Exactly. This object is the skull of a woman. Shall we say, resembled your wife in many ways?
I don't know.
May I have the club, Sir Brendan? Thank you. This heavy plank, which has been once removed from this stool here and been replaced, fits the scars on the skull exactly. You see?
Now, look here, I don't know about...
Watch him, Constable.
I'm watching him, sir.
And Sir Brendan O'Neill here conducted certain experiments with this poor relic of the woman who so closely resembled your wife, Mr. Williams. A large number of men...
141.
141 men struck at this skull, which was placed where a standing woman's head might be.
What is this nonsense?
I'm afraid it's far from nonsense, Williams. None of the right-handed men were able to strike the skull at all in the region of the scars. But every left-handed man could.
Steady, Lefty.
Peter Williams, I arrest you on a charge of willful murder of your wife, Jessie Williams. And I warn you that anything you may say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence. Do you wish to make a statement at this time? The evidence was incontestable. At the trial, the testimony of handwriting experts proved that Williams had written the letters purportedly coming from his wife after her death. The days on which these letters had been posted were in every case the days on which Williams had been off duty, the only days on which he had been able to go to London for that purpose. It was demonstrated in court that only a left-handed man could have struck the fatal blows. The testimony of more than a dozen acquaintances of the couple provided the motive for the murder. And in a dramatic break with his counsel in open court, Williams shouted out his confession that he had indeed committed the brutal murder. He was sentenced to be hanged, and the sentence was executed on May Day, 1944.
You have heard another in the series Whitehall 1212, compiled by special permission from the official files of Scotland Yard. Only the names have been changed. Otherwise, the story is true. Research for Whitehall 1212 is prepared by Percy Hoskins of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Three chimes mean good times on NBC.